I have wandered along the bristly brambles, snagging threads across the thorns that hedge my way. If perchance I find the place where I might amble, where the bees and honey trees have called my name, I'll sing, come all ye stitchers, come, while away the time. Fetch the needle and the thread, see what ye may find. My dreams of sewing seams had been fading, and my goals of mending holes had all but died, till the moment the bewitching stitching maiden recommended that I cast my fears aside. She sang, come all ye stitchers, come, while away the time. Fetch the needle and the thread, see what ye may find. So if you find you're out of spirits, out of money, and you're walking down the dusty road alone, come with me to the realm of hope and honey. In the land of milk and thread, you'll find a home. We'll sing, come all ye stitchers, come, while away the time. Fetch the needle and the thread, see what ye may find. Come all ye stitchers, come, while away the time. Fetch the needle and the thread, see what ye may find. Thread milk.
Hi, FlossTube. I have an extra special guest tonight. I've been talking this up like, oh, Chris is going to come visit. We're going to talk about the states, and it's official. Now it's here. And I'm so glad he's home for a few days and we get to do this. It's going to be fun. But I am going to mingle in first here at the beginning before we start on those Statehood Splendor Series information, facts, and trips. Just my usual floss tube. So I'm Lori Wilson with Thread Milk Design, and this is my better half of Thread Milk Design.
AKA her lesser half.
Her lesser half.
I'm Chris. Hi, FlossTube. Nice to, kind of meet you all. I've met a couple of you already at Market last year, but I'm glad I now get to be an official part of the FlossTube community. Woo!
Yay! So, and I would not be able to do Thread Milk would not exist without him. So he's definitely the tech guy. He's the guy who puts the patterns together for me. As far as, the Word, the Excel, the snip tools guy. I do know how to use snip tools, but he's faster. He's better at it. Anyway, so I'm just so grateful. And here you get to meet him. To get started, though, let's do this first real quick, get some things out of the way. We just released a new chart called Valentine Villa, and I wanted to let you know it comes with 2 different notebooks. So I wanted to include, if you can see on this chart, there's a Love Notes pillow right there. And I thought it would be so fun to have a pocket in the back of it with a notebook and a pencil, with the intention of leaving cute little notes for, the people you love in your home. Anybody could write on it at any time. You could rip it out and leave it under their pillow, whatever, but how fun, right? Love notes. These also could just be, thoughtful thoughts of your loved ones or your friends, your family, or a notebook that can record appreciation for any of your blessings. Any times when you have felt love in your life. Valentine's isn't always just about, lovers. I like to kind of extend it a little further past that and showing love to everyone. So there you go. You're also going to get a little pencil with it. And yes, that's the latest in our affordable series. I think I've got one more of these coming out. And then we might be, yeah, for market. I'll have one more for market.
Do you want to give them a little teaser?
A little teaser would
Tell
be...
them what it's going to be about?
Well, St. Patrick's Day. We're going to highlight St. Patrick's Day.
There you go.
One thing, too, I kind of forget to say is sometimes these are informational. Like, I've got history in here about St. Valentine, Cupid. There is a Cupid on this on the Valentine Villa house. And we went with the Italian Amore pillow. And, you know, celebrate by watching Lady and the Tramp.
If you ever wanted to know how to say the word love in Swahili, this will teach you.
It's in here.
It's in there.
And a few other languages, but not a ton. But a few. They're in there. So anyway, same price, $15 is my other For the Bowl series on our website, but there's a lot of shops, few shops that are carrying them now. You can also ask your local needlework shop to place a wholesale order and get you one to support them.
And in case you're curious, like I was kind of questioning myself, okay, is the black notebook going to be much more popular than the tan notebook? Or is it going to be the other way around? Are people going to like the tan over the black?
Mm-hmm. You voted?
I voted black.
Mm-hmm. And I
Did
said,
you
I
vote?
don't know.
Right. And
I said, I don't know.
I said, I don't know, but I would guess black if I had to pick one.
Yeah.
And it's been about 50-50 so far on what people have been ordering. So there you go.
So I'm going to insert here, I think I know how to insert a video that I took before I took these finishes over to Shepherd's Bush so that you can see how I did the pocket on the back. Basically, I just decided, so I've been doing some crafts with cutter quilts, they're called, which are quilts that are so old they just have holes all over in them, and you can, you know, cut sections out of it and use them in your finishing. So I've made some project bags, big and small. Hopefully we'll have a few on the website for the grabbing aftermarket. I don't have time to make them right now. We'll see. So I've got some cutter quilt on the back of these. The pictures are in here so you can see what they look like. For the Love Notes pillow that the notebook slips into, that pocket in the back, and the pencil slips in there too, it's the binding. You just use the binding side to cut your pillow from. Then you don't have to fold it. You don't have to make basically a pocket. It's just the quilt. And it turned out really cute. So I will try to insert that little video here I have of showing you how I did that, that I took before I took the finishes to Shepherd's Bush. Shepherd's Bush always has my finishes for these on display. So you can go in there and see them for real when they're in season.
Shout out to Tina and Terry at Shepherd's Bush.
Yes.
Way to go.
We love them so much. They've taught me so much too about this whole industry. They've been great.
They're a great store and great leads.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so this is a video insert for showing you how to sew on the quilt, cutter quilt back pieces to your finish pillows, in particular for Valentine Villa. So when you cut out your cutter quilt, there's so much batting and fabric together that there's going to be this squish factor and also a spread factor. So even though you cut it out at your table, the right size, or you do it exactly the same size as your piece of linen, you're going to get what's called this overlay, where once you've sewn and squished these layers together under your presser foot, some of the quilt, even though you cut it the right size, is going to squish out. With your presser foot, always follow the linen or the finish line, not the quilt line. okay, because we're going to cut this excess off. So make sure your 1/4 inch goes along with the linen cut edge that you've done. One other thing I was going to talk about too. Oh, actually, I'll do it in my sawdust finishing video. But I just wanted you to see how once you start pushing on this, it's going to squish out. And you start sewing on it, which is pushing on it, it's going to squish your quilt piece out. It also happens with velvet. When you sew velvet onto the back of your pillows, it moves because it has that really slippery soft nap to it, and so sometimes you can get this too, and you can just trim it up. Just always make sure that your seam allowance is at the edge of your stitched piece, not the edge of your quilted piece. Hope that makes sense. Okay, here's a good example. I'm going to show you just another little bit. See how much this corner, how much of the quilt has squished out. So I'm going to show you how to turn it just right so you stay in line with your cut stitched piece. The other thing I always make sure to do, and Vanna Pfeiffer has put this on her tutorial for finishing, is you go all the way to the edge here, back stitch like a 1/2 inch, because your seam allowance is a 1/4 inch and you want your back stitches to get back here. Then when you turn it and you come in here for this 1/4 inch, you go up about 1/2 inch, back stitch all the way, and then continue forward. So you've got at least a 1/4 inch on your finished pillow that's got back stitching on it too, because you're going to come in here and trim these corners, and I'll show you that in my other finishing video also. Now see, I'm lining up with my cross stitch piece, not the quilted piece. See that? And I'm going to start my stitches at the very back. There we go. Now we can continue on, and then I'm going to trim that up when I trim my corners. Okay, so here's a quick video of the new chart I just put out in my For the Bowl series called Valentine Villa. And we're just inserting this into the regular floss tube because I have to take these over to Terry at Shepherd's Bush, and her and Tina want them to display, which I'm more than happy to take them right over here around the corner to their store. So here's some cute things about Valentine Villa. I decided to experiment with cutter quilts. I'll talk about that in the FlossTube video. Cutter quilts are basically quilts that are so old that they're tattered and they're falling apart and they have holes in them. And you purchase them at antique stores. There's an explanation about this in the finishing instructions in the Valentine Villa chart. But look how cute that is. That is just out of an old quilt. I have some more of this. I'm going to make some project bags out of soon. I don't know if it'll happen before market or not. But this one over here is super worn. It's really, really old. But look at all those cool hand quilting marks right here and here. And just these old patches of fabric. This, you can see on this quilt too, that this is the batting, which is like a man's jacket or pants, probably pieced together, but that is the batting. It's not the traditional batting like we see. This is just what they used. A lot of times in old quilts, especially prairie quilts, they would use old clothes that were falling apart or other thicker textiles to thicken up the quilt, which is what we call nowadays as batting. And that's Batting, batting. Okay, so back to Valentine Villa. Some of the cute little things on here. I went with an Italian theme, of course, of villa for the alliteration to go with Valentine. So the pillow Amore is love in Italian. To go along with that, there's some cute little lovebirds. We've got a cherub up here floating through the air, delivering some love to hopefully make lovers fall in love even more, whatever he does. In the chart this time I decided to put a little bit of history too about St. Valentine's Day. So that'll be fun for you to read. And all, of course, the love smoke coming out of the villa, the love leaves on the tree, and the little heart love flowers growing outdoors. This linen is, in fact, all the linens I used on this chart are from Grace Notes Fabrics, the linen dyeing company. They will be at market this year, it looks like, in Nashville, in case you want to hop in and look at their linens. I've really enjoyed stitching on her linens. They are Zweigart based, and she's got some really fun colors. I really especially love this one. Well, go back to this one first. This is Mary, I believe. This one is Oh John, and the Amore pillow is Jane Bell. It's just a lighter pink. So the ruching, you probably want to see how I finished the edge. So I had some, I think this is called viscose ribbon. It's that really cheap ribbon you could buy from, I believe this came from, it was dyed like in tea or coffee. I think this is one of them that came from, oh, that wonderful trim maker. I'll get back to that in 1 second if I remember what that is. Anyway, she's out of Mississippi, and you're all yelling it at me right now. Paper. Anyway, I'll get there. This is the Love Notes pillow, and this is a lot of fill-in, but it's Parchment Weeks Dye Works. This is Cayenne, and the dark brown is Grapevine. I just wanted something that represented all the Valentines and the love notes that, you know, fly through the sky, getting to other people at this time of year, spreading our love and sharing it with family, friends, relatives, people that we want to share our love with. But I decided it'd be even cuter if it had a pocket on it and a notebook and a pencil, so that if you wanted to share love notes in your home with your family, you could. So you can just share them here and pass them along. There's 2 colors of this lined notebooks. You can get black or you can get tan. It comes with the chart, and you also get a pencil with it. So here, this old quilt. For those of you who are familiar with binding, you know that is the outer edge of the quilt. Well, on this quilt, this old one, you can see this really fun stripe is the backing of this beautiful piece quilt that is falling apart once again. And they wrapped the backing around to the front to bind the quilt together, so to put all the layers together and put a nice clean edge on them. Well, if you want to do this pocket this way out of an old cutter quilt, then you just have to cut a piece that's about, what is that, 2/3 the size of the pillow. And I suggest basting it on to this backing piece first. And yes, this is the linen I used on the front. But baste it on with your machine onto the back piece first. Then piece and sew the front to the back, leaving an opening at the bottom to stuff with your sawdust. There should be really soon a sawdust tutorial, if not accompanying or following this video. I'm trying to get those all wrapped up and done this weekend. So once again, you can choose in your complete Valentine Villa pattern either the black notebook or the tan notebook. So watch for that. And last but not least, the Amore pillow turned out really cute. It's definitely pink. And yes, this is kind of showing washed out, but it's a hand-dyed pink too. You can see some of the dye lightness and darkness there. I stitched it with Chris's Bonbon, put a cute little floral on the back, stuffed it once again with sawdust, and put this cute ruched viscose ribbon on it. I use, and I mentioned this in the chart too, I use Misty Purcell's demonstration for how to sew that on. She refers to also Vanna Pfeiffer, so you can look for both of those. Mine is, what Misty does too, is you stitch it on top with matching thread, and then you don't see any holes through the ribbon showing. I thought that was very appropriate for Valentine's Day to have some pretty little ruching. Okay, and I just remembered I got this actually from, I think Shepherd's Bush would wrap this around some linen I bought. So I always reuse my ribbon that I get from them too, either on a scissor fob or a thread keep or something fun like that. But this one came from Monahan Papers. Monahan Papers, and that is on Etsy. She has a shop, and I just love her trims and ribbons, because she does some, hand-dyed, wrinkly, coffee-dyed, tea-dyed, different color ones that are just beautiful. And I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment. Oh, I almost forgot to show you. I did put together some pins that you can buy separately. I didn't want to have to, or I didn't want you to think you have to get the pin with this chart. Not everyone likes the decorative pins, but in this case, I thought it was very appropriate for that cute little pillow to have a pin. So those are separate, and you can get them from your local needlework shop. They can order from me, or you can get them from my website, threadmilkdesign.com. Okay, that's it on the new Valentine Villa. Watch for coming out, probably, it'll be like a new release at Market. I'm planning on doing a St. Patrick's chart too. It's going to be pretty cute. And then it'll be available for purchase at Market and Aftermarket. So another new product that we threw out, or dropped, or whatever you want to call it, is spool thread milk. Now,
spool label.
Spool label.
I think we were trying to decide what we were going to officially call it, and I think we went with spool label.
That's right.
Okay.
Spool label thread milk. Is it under the thread milk tab?
It is on the website, yes.
That's what else he does. He puts the stuff on the website for me. So you can see it comes with a red ring, our new logo tags, so I don't have to make them anymore. We've got that, plus a couple charms, and these are all vintage. You've probably seen them around. I've seen them on Etsy used for thread keeps and things like that. I bought these a few years ago, and then Lindy at Silver Needle asked if I could do a special order for her Circle of Friends subscriptions. So we threw together about, can I tell them, Lindy? 600 of these for her Circle of Friends subscriptions. So some of you already have these. I don't have a ton left. It's not like a usual print order that I do when I do these thread milk print jobs. So I'm not selling these wholesale, but they are available retail on my website until they're gone. I don't know if I'll print them again. We'll see. We'll just see how the years go, how they fly by.
Would you like me to take it out of the bag so it doesn't have the glare to show them?
I think they're pretty good. I don't want to take too much time. We know how time goes on these videos. Okay. You can see there's a needle charm and a heart charm back in there.
All 10 of the milk caps on this series are reproductions of vintage, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Labels from thread spools.
Yes, and there are no milk caps mixed in with these this time. On our other holiday thread milk sets, we've mixed in colors of milk caps that go well with that season, and they're adorable mixed in. But this is all thread labels, all spool labels. Mm-hmm. No milk caps on this one. And I love them. They're so cute.
And we put them on the red binder ring instead of the normal cable steel ring.
Yeah, so it's kind of all about the red. Cute for Valentine's stitching, cute for Bristol stitching, cute for 4th of July stitching, cute for all your stitching, really. And yes, I love them. I don't want to say right here. I mean, but I will. The product we use, the chipboard, is my favorite spool, or sorry, thread drop, because it's soft. It doesn't have a sharp edge. It doesn't shred your thread as much.
And yet they're also thick enough and sturdy enough to last and to be able to reuse them over and over.
Oh yeah, like you'll have these forever. They will never rip, tear. You can bend them if you want to bend them with your own hands, but I don't recommend
don't bend
it.
them.
But they are sturdy, and I am loving having all my threads. I use a lot of the rejects. So in these printing orders, sometimes they're crooked. I use those. I'm not going to put them out there for anybody else to devour, because then my product looks bad. But I will use those too. And it's been fun to just get all my threads put on them. I put my silks on them. Everything. I've told you guys that before. Okay, one more item shop update. I had a customer purchase a kit for me that I got at Market last year from Stacy Nash, and kind of challenged me a little bit on the kit I put together. So I just want to put it out here officially on YouTube, FlossTube, that what I have said that I kitted it with is exactly what is called for. It is exactly what I say on my website I kitted it with. I'm not going to try to ever sell you something that's not true to what we put in the description. In fact, if you ask Chris, I'm pretty uptight about anything and everything, and that it all has to be truthful and transparent and real. So what the kit is this Stacy Nash exclusive from Market last year. I have probably 3 or 4 of these left of all of them that I bought and kitted. And that means, I mean, you might be able to find some in some shops, but I'm pretty sure these are getting hard to find. And oh my word, it's the cutest thing. This little kit comes, of course, with the pattern, the finishing instructions from Stacy, this wonderful box that her mom made that's beautifully finished. And I made a thread card. Well, we made a thread card that has all the threads named, so you don't have to guess which thread is which. It has enough thread on the card of each color to do 2 strands of floss over 2 threads of linen, or you can just use the one, but you'll still have the card that has the leftover threads on it, and you'll know what they are. That instruction card right there is the one that just tells you the explanation about using 2 threads over 2. It comes with waxers from Stacy's daughter, Taylor, and the linen that's in it is what is called for. That is Barb's blend that Stacy put in her pattern. And those threads are Weeks Dye Works threads. And it's a beautiful kit. And they'll probably be hard to find. But I do have some left with absolutely what it's called for. So over here is my quick cute little finish. And I think I've shown you this before, but I just took the ribbon that came on the bag, sprayed it with some, what's that called? Mary's Press. Starch Press.
Don't look to me for that answer.
Anyway, it's that really lightweight starch press stuff, and you just spray it on the ribbon after you tie it in a bow around your scissors and squish it up and hold it like that, and it will wrinkle for you and dry quickly. If you live in Utah, it dries very quickly. Anyway, it's a beautiful way to use your ribbon. And then here's the finish. Here's this awesome box that Stacy's mom put together with Mod Podged and waxed beautifully. I think this is from one of her patterns, one of the antique patterns. Anyway, a sampler. And then you finish it right there in that little hole. It is so cute. And her finishing instructions are perfect, easy. The whole little kit is something I will treasure forever. Thank you, Stacy. Oh, and I also have these from her on my website. It doesn't come with the floss, but these little waxers are so cute. Bunny. Wax. More wax.
I think we have like about 3 or 4 of those, don't we?
We definitely have some of those left.
Okay.
Yep. They're great gifts for your stitchy friends. Okay, moving on past the shop updates. I have some finishes. The first one I want to show you is not one that I stitched actually, but that I adopted. So Shepherd's Bush, and a lot of shops do this at the end of the year or the beginning of the new year. They go through their shop and retire certain displays. Okay, so, and I've adopted a couple. I got one at 3 stitches in spring last year that is fabulous that I had reframed. And then this one I brought home from Shepherd's Bush the other night. I can't remember the brand, but you can see someone had stitched it, framed it, and I adopted it. But look at those stitches. The stars are all French knots, full, yummy French knots. So anyway, it's adorable, very well done. I took it out of the frame and I'm going to make it into a pillow with some cute trim for Christmas. The other piece I finished, you've seen a few of these lately online, is the Heartstring Samplery freebie. Oh, it wasn't a freebie. It was included in Shakespeare's Peddler's Christmas Advent 2021. And my friend Sandy, you guys know Sandy, she finished it this exact way with the reds and the greens. And then I have a little heart heart button that I'm going to sew just like she did. I'm copying you, Sandy, because that was so cute. She just sewed it right here in the middle of that green dot. But this is Love and Joy Come to You. I've seen people do it in the called for pink and kind of gray linen with pink threads. It's so cute because you could leave it up through Valentine's and it's darling. But I definitely went the Christmas route on that one. Can't wait to make that into a pillow. Here's one from Market last year that I finally stitched because seriously, you can stitch it in a night, maybe 2 if you don't have a lot of hours in your night. But it is the round red sampler from Heart and Hand. And she just does these cute, I'd almost call them like a muffin top lid because it hangs past this little teeny tiny bowl that came, well, you bought separately. And then it has her little logo on the back. But I'm definitely going to make it exactly like it says to do it in the instructions because she has you cover the disc on the top with the stitching. And then you put a separate little covered with fabric disc under that lid so that you can put this on your bowl and it won't shift. So it has like an edge. It is so cool. Smart lady.
Nice. Smart
finish. That was super fun to stitch. I don't know why littles like that are so fun. I think this is kind of my theory. I really like finishing. I really like having a finished product. So I probably do more smalls than I spend time on big stuff. But we would really probably like some big ones soon. That'd be nice. Speaking of which, Chris got me a really cute. He's so smart. I don't even know how he figures out which patterns to buy me because you don't know what I have or don't have. He just takes the flyer and he nails it every time because I don't have the chart he buys me. This one you gave me for Christmas or my birthday.
Which one is it?
I kind of think it was my birthday. This Christmas you just gave me that Valentine one.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking the previous Christmas. Was it your birthday?
I think it's my birthday.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you remember.
Yeah. Only because I know I haven't had it super long, but I love this one. So when our kids went to...
you have to hold it a little closer?
Yeah, and you kind of have to cover up our faces because it focuses in on your eyes. Our kids went to a charter school for a few years, and I was an instructor there. And so I got way into the math. Obviously, everyone had to learn their times tables. But this is probably my favorite multiplication sampler that I have ever seen. And apparently, I mean, it says you can contact the people to get that hornbook or to have them make you one to put it on. And it's way cool. Anyway, this is my latest whip. Haven't actually started it yet, but it's kitted with the threads and the linen ready to go. And I love it. Mostly because of all that patterning going on around the whole multiplication table. And it's just enough. It won't take long to do it. It'll look beautiful on the wall. Okay, So that's kind of what all that I'm into, other than I do have some FFOs. Do you want to see those? Are we up for some FFOs that are out of season? Because what do? I stitch in season and then I finish them 2 or 3 months after, depending on work, depending on what I have to do for thread milk. So you've seen a couple, you've seen this one, and I'm just plugging Kim Gavlik again and Stitch Etc. because their boards are some of my favorite finishes. So you saw this in the last video, probably. It's a Shepherd's Bush Santa that goes in a box that they sell, but I have just put it on a block from Stitch Etc. This is another board. I don't know the name of this board. I didn't look that up.
Is it from Stitch
It's from
Etc.?
Stitch, though. Yeah, it's from Stitch Etc. And you can see how tiny it is. It's probably like 4 inches by 2.5, and then it has this handle on it. And this stitch is the freebie from Scarlet House, probably from 2 years ago, a Christmas freebie. Just that bird. And I found these little bowls at Michael's and tied a ribbon on the hole and, you know, added some berries and pine and rickrack. You can see that little teeny rickrack in there. I think it's velvet. It's kind of small. Anyway, yay. I love finishes. So those are from Christmas. Here's my Thanksgiving finishes, fully finishes. So picked up this little bowl at an antique store here somewhere. And all of these fit. Now, I think I showed in the last FlossTube with Sandy that I had finished, but not fully finished, some trifles from Shepherd's Bush. You can get these kitted. They come with ribbon and bead trim if you want. I opted to not do them on these, but I did get the Christmas ones kitted that way. These I just added my own. And most of these trims, the tiny ones anyway, this one for sure, is from Purple Paper Mountain. This is what their trims come like on these little cards. They're like $1.50. They're tiny. They just close up the seam around these small pillows, and love them. So this is the Thanksgiving trifle. There's that one. And it comes with this one. And of course it comes with buttons. And you guys know I'm not a huge button fan, but for Shepherd's Bush stuff, you got to use their buttons. They're classic, cute little finishes.
It's not focusing on
It's
the
our
pillow.
faces. It's
Oh,
because
there it
both
goes.
our faces are showing, I think. I made the pin. I just got some bold pins. I'll show that one. And added some beads and charms on it like I do for some of my patterns. That's a ruched finish.
I was going to say, is that ruched ribbon?
So I really like Misty Purcell's ruched ribbon video tutorial. Vanna Pfeiffer has one also that Misty says she watched, and that's what I've been using. Do I love the process of ruching the trim? Ask Chris. I don't.
I think not.
I don't love it, but I love what happens. I mean, this is really cute. It just fancies up your finish a little bit. And mostly the ribbon I use is just viscose ribbon. I use some stuff from Monahan paper sometimes because theirs are kind of wrinkled and tea-stained, and I love them. So here's the third little pillow. Has velvet on the back from, I believe, Lady Dot Creates. I'm just going close. Yeah. And rickrack trim. I might stitch around that so it looks like it's sewn on, but for now it's just glued on. I like gluing my rickrack on first because it keeps it stable. It's in its place when you then want to go put some stitches around it and make it look like you sewed it on by hand. Okay, so those are Thanksgiving trifles from Shepherd's Bush. Absolutely loved sewing those together. They're fiddly because they have some straight stitches and back stitches, but it was fun for the season and the time I had to spend on them. All right, so here's some more Thanksgiving ones, and I hope I'm going to get all the names right. I believe this is Threadwork Primitives. How about you're handy, hon?
Right.
Seriously.
I feel like Vanna White.
So the trim I put on this one is just black twine So you know how you can get like hemp twine in khaki? Well, I found a spool of it in black, and it's just glued on. And I tied a knot on the corner and tied little knots on the ends and cut them off and used some Just Another Button Company sunflower pins for the corner. And yes, that's Threadwork Primitives. Okay, I've told you guys before, I love Not Forgotten Farm. I love Stacy Nash, but Threadwork Primitives is right there in that same bucket of favorites that I love to stitch. Okay, this was a kit from Manny Didani, I believe, from a couple years ago. Shepherd's Bush still had kits for this. Last year, when I called Terry and got one, the pins come with it. The fabric comes with it. The pilgrim ribbon comes with it. The whole kit. The whole thing. The linen. Everything. And I love this finish and the stitch. She has great finishing instructions too for that one, but that's one of those all-inclusive kits. Okay, here's one more, and because of Daisy K Primitives, Christy, I'm just going to shout you out again because I never miss one of your videos. I absolutely love them all. Love your home decor, and you're the one who's taught us about Country Rustic and a few others, those rustic primitive stitcher designers. But Christy Green also has her own bit of really cute patterns on Etsy. It's under Daisy K's Primitives. And this isn't one of them, but I did get some Valentine ones I'm going to show you in a little bit. I believe this one's Country Rustic, or I'm probably going to get it wrong. Anyway, she showed this one in one of her videos in the fall. And I just put a rusty pin and a rusty bell on it from either, I got it from Kitten Stitcher or Factory Direct has those rusty items too. And there you go. Okay, so Thanksgiving bowl finishes. Oh, okay, one thing. So Kim shouted out a little bit that we're going to head to, when we go to market, we drive. I just like it better.
Road trip.
Road trip. We like road trips. But we also can feel really good about loading our car with all our stuff, not shipping it. It's going to get there. It's there when we show up. We don't have to worry about it getting lost, which did happen to people last year. Anyway, this is just our security blanket, and we get to go on a fun trip. So we stop. It takes us about 2.5 days to get there, and we'll stop in Missouri. So
we can do it in 2 days, but I'm getting older now, so we like to take our time.
I don't like it. Yeah. Meaning it's more fun to stop and, do some things. But I think what we're going to do this time, and I haven't told Kim this yet, but stay a whole day in Missouri. So we're going to leave a day earlier and do some more antique shopping, because when I was there, and I've always said this, the Midwest has the best antique shopping. But when I was there last for her Stitch Etc. Day that I went and spent with shoppers and did the class, this is one of the things I found that I've been looking for a while, and they are the antique heavy duty safety pins, and they come with these tags on them, and they're numbered. I don't know what these were for. Were they laundry pins or post office bag pins?
Something like that.
Anyway,
or really old people that worked in and out, because they put those big pins on their aprons they wear.
You can buy those too, which I have bought before, and they're not these things. Try to open one. I mean, seriously, they are heavy steel.
Oh yeah,
they're cool, and they have all this patina on them. I did close one on my finger last time Chris was at work, and I was like, do I need a tetanus shot? You should see this thing.
Did you get like a blood blister?
It just took some skin off, and it healed fine. It was just funny though, thinking about it. Like, oh, I wonder if that's rust. I don't know, but they're that cool. That's how cool they are. Okay, here's the last fully finish. Oh my goodness. Kim, again, at Stitch Etc., has these boxes. Probably will do them in any color, but when I was there in September, I was like, I need to come home with an orange one, because here's the next trifle set from Shepherd's Bush. It has the 3 designs, so there's one pillow. And notice the back has some more Lady Dot Create. I love her velvet for the trims and the backs. One thing about velvet, it's kind of like sewing a a back, like the cutter quilts that I was talking about earlier, velvet and cutter quilts move as you sew them on. So just be prepared for that. You're going to have to trim them up a little bit. Okay, there's the Eek one. Oh, just to, you probably noticed these buttons come with, but this pin came from Just Another Button Company, and the trim came from Purple Paper Mountain.
Say that 10 times fast.
That. And this has another black velvet on the back and ruche ribbon, and the buttons that came with the kit. I love getting kitted stuff from Shepherd's Bush. They're the bomb. So this is the third pattern, and it was of the trifles, the Halloween trifles. But once I got Kim's box home and I'd stitched it, I was just like, this fits perfect. So I mounted it to the box. Now, when you're mounting to boxes or doing a flat mount, you don't want to put SF101 on the back because you need to be able to stretch it around your foam board or your mat board, whatever you decide to mount it with. You need to be able to stretch those linen threads and line them up. And if you put SF101 on the back, you can't stretch it anymore. You're done. Probably end up crooked. I have before. So that's my little tip right there. But yeah, ribbons from Sandy and I have talked about this place before. These came from Knot and Spool up in Salt Lake City. And then I just did another, the buttons came with the kit, but I added another little charm and pin.
That one.
Yep. And look how dang cute this is. Put some, now I'm talking Utah. Dang cute. Put some Halloween candy in it.
Mm-hmm.
This was our last guild meeting. Up here in Ogden, we have a Stitch Guild that gets together and we learned coloring with crayons. And then you extract the wax and it leaves the color, and then we embroidered on it. Great little time. We have a great time. And it is Tina and Terry who run that guild for
From
us all.
Shepherd's Bush.
Mm-hmm. Yes. In fact, this week's class on Thursday, I get to teach, and I'm going to do a cutter quilt class. And it's going to be really cute. We're going to make a little heart ornament. No machine sewing, just hand sewing. It's going to be really fun. So if you want to come join Guild in Ogden. Actually, there's a couple girls that had to move to Texas, and they're getting a kit. So I know you can join and
Even
still
if you
get your
don't live here.
discount, even if you don't live here. So ask Tina and Terry about that. All right, here, now we're just going to move right into some haul because that pretty much winds it down. Before I get into haul, let me just talk about Market really quick. We talked about the new St. Patty's Day.
We didn't really talk
Bowl.
about the name or anything, just that there's going to be a new St. Patrick's Day themed chart coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, maybe we'll leave the name as a surprise. We'll just see how that goes down. But what I've also decided to do for Market this year is, well, first of all 50 states are done. And Chris, 2 days ago, said to me, you need a display board, and I'm going to work tomorrow. So I need to make you a board. So he did, and it is so pretty. It's stained, little shells on it. So at Market, for all you wholesale or retail shoppers who want to tell their stores to come by, we will have all 50 states on display. And we'll have the freebies there. We also have, no, let's not go into that yet. We'll go into that in just a second. But that's one of the things at Market that's kind of a big deal. One more for the bowl. And then I decided to get into reproduction.
Sampler reproductions.
Sampler reproductions this year. And I'm so excited about it. One of them is that Sandy owns. And it's a little red house that is so darling. She's restitched it. It's getting framed. So that spurred a new series called Red Haven. And I'm just going to number them 1 through wherever we get to. But for now, for Market, there will be 3.
I was going to say, so far it's up to 3, right?
Yes.
In the Red Haven series.
Yes. And here's just quick little examples. I don't have the old ones.
Little teasers.
Teasers.
Yay!
The old ones are at Renzel's studio getting framed right now while I'm stitching the reproductions. But here's just a teaser of one. We might have to
You want me to hold it
cover
up?
up our heads.
Oh.
And it is beautiful. It's like a pink and a red combo, and it's just a little girl school sampler. I decided after going to Bristol, which I am planning on going to this year again, I hope I get in, and that's the Bristol Orphanage. They call it Bristol Weekend Reprise at the Attic, and it's all about the little Bristol Orphanage, excuse me, in Bristol, England. I just decided I love the red little schoolgirl samplers because it's about little girls learning to stitch, learning to perfect, a trade. Anyway, here's a glimpse of that other one. The first one I just showed you is Dutch. So the lady I got them from is in the Netherlands, and she's just been collecting these schoolgirl samplers and selling them on eBay. And I've really liked the quality. I've liked working with her. Some of them, yes, are very tattered and have spots on them and all of that, but they're authentic. This one is a German sampler. That other one I just showed you has a little teeny bit of over 1 on the H, which is I'm assuming it was her last name because the initials that are on it have H's. A little teeny bit of over 1, but this one is German, and in the end you'll see down here there's a little bit of a name, Weiss.
Weiss.
Or Weiss.
However you pronounce it, W-E-I-S.
Yes. So that's kind of fun for your family line. On this one in particular, the German one, I am doing on the chart over 1 like the original, but I'm also including a chart. There's enough room to do it over 2 if you'd rather not do the over 1. So there's Red Haven. You haven't seen number 1, but you just had a glimpse of 2 and 3. And oh, I'm loving them. I'm just so in love with them. I feel like I have these little girls in my house stitching. So this last item I'm doing for market is another reproduction called Catherine. And I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about this one, except we got it in La Crosse, Wisconsin on our state trip that we're going to talk about here in just a second. I'm just going to give you a quick little glimpse. It's a very well-loved neutrals.
That's
stitch.
it.
And that's it. That's all I'm going to show you.
It's a good one, though. It's going to look really nice.
It has a beautiful little saying, right? We love the saying she put on it. We love the...
Here, do you want me to set that over here so it's flat?
Yes, that'd be good. The spelling. I have yet to finish the chart on this, but I'll get it stitched up here in a bit, and Renzel will be framing all of these for me, too. So that'll be fun to show off some of their talents over there in framing. I just love working with them. Okay, so there's a market update. Teeny little bit of haul I'll show you real quick. I don't know if you guys are familiar with 5 Times Blessed, but I met her at summer school about a year and a half ago. The one time I've been to summer school at the Attic. And she just makes the funnest baubles and fobs and jewelry. She's the one that I've shown in the video before who taught me how to make the bracelet out of old buttons. So she just came out with some more scissor fobs that are so cute. And I highly recommend you get on her Etsy shop and go pick some out. Is that going to be, can you read that? This one says Sampler Maker. She's got them all laid out in her pictures that are beautiful on her Etsy shop. There's a mama. Love you for Valentine's Day. And a Lucky for St. Patrick's Day. I just happen to have a pair of green scissors. So the reason I got these, oh, and she also does these really cute strawberry fobs. I'm going to leave that out with the cute buttons on them. She's one of my favorite doodad, stitchy doodad crafters. She's very fun. She always includes old buttons and old stuff with her pieces she makes.
Have you shown this one yet?
Yes.
Okay.
So after showing you that Lucky one with the green scissors, I'm going to do one more little addition to the Sawdust tutorial that I'm going to put on YouTube before this. So you can watch that tutorial and then watch this.
So a separate video that's going to be the Sawdust tutorial?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you can watch that first and then watch this, hopefully. This is the pillow I just showed you. It's a Pineberry Lane chart. It's for St. Patrick's. I can't remember what they're... Oh, I do have it here. Here's a segue for you into something I got going on for organization of stitchy charts. Here it is. This is the chart. I think I've shown you this before because I was working on all 4 pillows. And the one I framed, the little girl in the white dress, she's been framed and is hanging up downstairs. And then in the tutorial today earlier for the Sawdust tutorial, I finished this one with the 2 little girls. And then here's what I wanted to show you. As soon as I finished stuffing and sewing the hole open on the pillow, because I went ahead and finished this one right after I did this one in between the 2 videos, and you'll see the difference, okay? This is what it looks like right after you get it all stuffed and the bottom sewn shut. See how fat it is and misshapen? But this is what you can make it look like by just manipulating the sawdust, squishing it around, shaking it into the corners, right? That's how good and flat it becomes.
Do you have lavender in those?
I don't. I forgot the lavender for these. But segue into another part of the video today, and then we're going to get onto these states, is I have gone kind of, well, I showed you last time how I bought the It's So Emma plastic zipper pouches. Sorry. Shepherd's Bush has made a ton of patterns for stitching on these because they have holes and they're wonderful. So I have delved into a green one for St. Patrick's Day. I don't know what I'm stitching on it yet, but it's holding everything to finish this Pineberry Lane project. I found a book in Missouri, probably on our trip, was it?
Probably.
A green book that I'm going to mount the 4th piece from Pineberry Lane on, which is the Erin Gobra one up here. And I was going to show you some more trims. I mean, look how cute these trims are for finishing from Purple Paper Mountain for finishing these little guys. And they are tiny, teeny stuff. So once I finish the book and the trims on those little pillows, here's what I'm going to put in my dough bowl with them. So, you can just like tie a wad of ribbon up and set it in your dough bowl next to your pillows. So cute. Sandy and I one day went down to Needlepoint Joint, which is our local knitting yarn store. But here they had these huge hanks of DMC 10 gram, what are these called? Number 16, kind of a finer single strand, beautiful greens. And I was like, those would be so cute just sitting in the bowl next to all of these St. Patrick's Day finishes.
I haven't seen DMC like that before.
I haven't either.
So that was at a knitting shop?
Mm-hmm. That also carried like NPI silks, and they have some other cool embroidery threads and whatnot. Anyway, how pretty are all those? So you've got the bowl, you've got the book, you've got the stitches, and then Terry happened to have a Kitten Stitcher leprechaun needle binder. It's all planned and it's coming together. It's almost all done. So looking forward to that, getting that little thing done for St. Patrick's Day, which I did start these last year. This is not something I just whipped out of nowhere. So these bags, I decided, since I had so much fun with the fall and Christmas and basic houses, stitching those in the car whenever we do a road trip, I can stitch those while Chris drives.
I'm that good of a driver.
Good. So I went ahead and got a green one for St. Patrick's Day. I don't want to keep making this super long because I know you guys want to know what's in here. So here's just some basic new St. Patrick's Day stitches I got. I picked this one up at the attic. Lucky paper sampler. You can stitch it on perforated paper. Got that from the attic. With the, oh, it's cute. It's got variegated green thread throughout it. There's Irish Blessing from Delaney Woods. I've really, really enjoyed her Etsy shop. Then she also had Lucky Biscornu, which I showed last time. And Not Forgotten Farm has this lucky duck in the shape of an egg. Oh my gosh, just so adorable. And, oh, the newest one from Hands Across the Sea. When I saw this, I was just like, yes, please. I have to do that one for this whole collection. And you're probably wondering, well, are you Irish? Like, and yes, I'm wearing a green shirt today.
Very fitting.
Nice coordination. You have a green guy on your shirt.
I do, the logo.
We didn't do that on purpose. But, yes, I have Irish in my blood. And do you?
Do I?
We haven't done his DNA. I don't have my DNA done, but my parents do. We just found out a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, I have a son with a ginger beard, another son with kind of the ginger tints, and daughter. And my brother Rick was born with, had red hair, and his is kind of an auburny, really pretty red color too. So yeah, we have some red in the works. Here's some free charts you can pick up from, I think this is Not Forgotten Farm. She did one last year. I'm not going to show you the chart, but you can go download that. And that's it. That's what's in my green bag. So, do you want to be my guy? Do you want to be my Laura or Brenda who puts it back in the bag?
I can do that.
Watch this.
But I make no promise of putting it in the right order.
There's no order. And you can even put those green scissors in there because they are ready to go.
Look
Look at that. I'm kidded. Now I have my scissors in my bag.
These finishes in there too?
Yes.
Okay.
What my goal is with these bags too is to eventually have a smaller pouch in them with scissors and needles and whatever else I think I need, right? To be able to grab the bag and go and work on that holiday. So pink one for Valentine's Day, and this is so thick. I don't even think I can show you. You know why it's so thick? I've decided because in February and January, I can't stitch on Valentine's. I'm doing market prep, so I'm behind. I did some good Valentine finishes though, like 2 or 3 years ago.
See, note to self. For Christmas, I'm not going to buy her a Valentine pattern.
I don't need any. I'm good. I'm good. But the latest one that is the most, well, I mean, Shepherd's Bush has a 10. Oh, this is where I was going to tell you about Christy Green. She has some really cute Valentine charts. And I didn't print out the picture because they were JPEGs. Lots of color on the printer. But there's 2 Valentine ones in particular I just downloaded from her. And they are, once again, her name is Daisy K's Primitives on Etsy. One's called My Sweet Valentine, and the other is The Greatest of These is Love. So cute. Those are on the top of my list. Is what?
Nice, I said. Very cool.
Yeah. So other ones, a lot of these are freebies. A lot of them are, some of them, I should say, are Heart and Hand. I love her Valentine kits. A few that I found and fell in love with last year. Well, Shepherd's Bush has some that are darling, like this Love. No, wrong one, sorry. This Love pillow. And you can put it in the box or frame it. It's so tiny.
I'm going to hold it.
But it comes kitted. Yeah, kind of. Hold that. I'll kind of hand them to you. Okay. Same. These are from Artful Offerings, and one of them I kitted myself, but the other one I got kitted and sent to me from Country Sampler. So they kind of darken the colors a little bit. Here's the other one. I mean, everybody should live their life with that saying. Right? Here's my version of Always. This was a complimentary free pattern from Hello from Liz Matthews last year, but I decided to do it with dark brown, chocolate brown thread. Don't show the pattern much.
Oh, sorry.
if you can, on Aztec Red. I think it's going to be gorgeous. And there's a few others, and just to highlight Threadwork Primitives, here's another cute one. She has one that's called Valentine's Day too, and I shop on her Etsy shop for those most of the time. Sometimes I pick them up at Shepherd's Bush too. Oh, and I saw, okay, Ginger, this is a shout out to Ginger, the girl who got my finish from Shepherd's Bush retreat. I met her at Shepherd's Bush the other day, and she had just finished this by JBW Designs, and she did it with the green and the red version, and it is beautiful. So yeah, I had to come home with that little chart. Or did I already had, actually. I picked it up from Judy. Okay, and okay, least of all, I think this one needs to be stitched. Blackbird Design, Valentine Rose. I think that's part of the Anniversaries of the Heart. I have not stitched all of those, but I definitely want to do that one. And look at that. Love You Scissor Fob from 5 Times Blessed is going in that bag.
Oh, you've already shown him this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can throw it in the bag for me.
I can do that.
Helper. Man. Okay, so the next, okay, this one, I may not show you everything that's in here either, but Shepherd's Bush, just a month or two ago, and I think Ashley and Kim just showed this too on their FlossTube, did a winter design for the blue bag. And it's Snowman says winter. It's adorable. They will kit that up for you too. With all the buttons. The bag comes with a little snowflake zipper pull. Well, I should say you buy the bag and then the zipper pull comes in the kit. Yeah. So, cute little snowflake. Okay, what's my favorite winter? Well, first of all, Winter Rose Manor. I know you all know it. This is the one you got me for Christmas. Two Christmases ago. And here's where I'm at with it. Everybody's been showing this, and I just absolutely love seeing where they're at. I'm using all the called for thread and fabric. And I got it kitted up at Dying to Stitch. And I love the color of the conch, or conch, pink house. Is it conch or conch? Probably depends on where you live.
Yeah, I mean, conch is a shell. Is that, and it's a pink shell, so I think it's conch.
But some people are pronouncing it conch.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, well,
So
maybe I don't know. See, I took my pronunciation from the SpongeBob episode where they had the magic conch. So
SpongeBob. Look what you can learn on SpongeBob. Okay, so Sandy mentioned this one the other day when we did our last video, because I had started the Thanksgiving Pilgrim Stockings by Plum Street. Here's the Wintertide Friends from Plum Street. So adorable. And I picked up a few from Not Forgotten Farm this year and Teresa Kogut. Because like I've said before, I'm not a huge snowman decorator. I never have been. I just go right into Valentine's Day, but they complement each other really nice. Decided. So here's one that I had not seen from, or have seen anyone show yet. Maybe Christy Green did, but it's called Dirty Snowman. I love it. I kit most of these up with the called for DMC. And here's one that I picked up from the attic, discounted I think on the chart. I can't remember. It was just in with all the really old charts that they had in stock, and it was Needle Arts by Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread called Snow Day. Look at him, and I'm going to do him on a very gray blue background so you can show the back side, because he's beautiful. That's probably my favorite snowman chart I've ever seen.
It's a good one. I like it.
Yep. Okay, so bags. These will be stitched on the way to market.
All right.
So excited. Okay, progress on some bigs. Do you guys want to see those? Because we've seen a lot of FlossTube finishes from the Consider the Lilies. And I did announce on Instagram that I was going to use it as my Sunday stitch, Sunday salve. I've been doing okay. Not always stitching it on Sunday. but I've definitely made some progress. And I shared with some friends at Shepherd's Bush Retreat that by adopting that organization, like I don't want anybody to tell me what to stitch, right?
I want to stitch what I want to stitch.
I'm going to stitch what I feel like on any given day, any given hour, because that's what it is. It's for comfort. But on this one, I think I needed a little nudge of just like, why can't you just do this on Sunday? Because you're going to be more focused on what the Sabbath is. And it helps me even get a little bit more of maybe a scriptural lesson that day, just because I've focused on it.
Good way to look at it.
I have gotten a little further. I've gotten my house done and all the mortar, and I'm starting to fill in those bricks. And I am loving this.
It looks so nice. Look at that.
Oh,
Beautiful.
and why not get to the house? Here's my theory on the house in a sampler. If you stitch it first, you get to look at it the whole time you stitch the rest of it. And isn't that what we love about the houses on samplers? Oh, you just want to see that a little closer. That's a good stitch. So I have probably have like 4 or 5 of the hand-dyed flosses, but I have mostly DMC for this. I just wanted to save some money, but it's a big piece of linen, and why not just, use that DMC. So the color ring is very large and very pretty. Definitely a favorite. And I'm hoping in the next, I don't ever put a deadline on this kind of stuff for myself, but hoping in the next year or two that I can have that one done. Do you know where the other earpod went?
I have it done.
Oh, you put it in. Look at that. So you can hear Chris too.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay. We are kind of organized sometimes. All right. My other Sunday stitch that I kind of just pull out whenever I want, though, is a Savior's Praise. And I am making some progress on it. Sorry, these are not ironed. That's one thing I don't have time to do. I barely have time to make YouTube videos. Right. I did change my red to a brighter red, kind of like Lori Holt. But I had done it, I did that like during COVID. It was quite a while ago. And I really like it with the brighter red. I have a little bit of a corally red too, so like 2 or 3 reds. And I've gotten to that grass and those trees, and I love every bit of this stitch. Highly recommend it. It's a keeper. And I'm using all the called for anchor threads on that, besides the reds that I changed. That's all.
Did you change them to a different anchor thread, or is it a different brand altogether? Or do you know?
It would probably say on there. I think they're just DMCs, though. Some red DMCs. Because I have more access to DMC than I do anchor. Okay, so I went to Shepherd's Bush the other day to kit up, to get ready for market, getting some silks and things. On that Catherine one that I'm doing, by the way, I'm doing 2 different color ways. So there's a dark gray with all the light neutral threads in silk, because she stitched hers in silk. And then there's a cotton weight. They're both on 32 count. So they should stitch up pretty quick too. But I thought it'd be fun to show different sizes of linen and have different sizes of options for my customers. So when I was there getting that stuff at Shepherd's Bush, Ginger brought in a pile of bags, project bags. So I decided to grab one because it matches the fabric from our Shepherd's Bush bags from Retreat. But here's what I'm obsessed with. So Heartstring Samplery, I believe, if I get this right, announced on Instagram or her email subscription list that her Sunday stitches set, the set of 12 hymns, she's releasing them now in a book form, and she's adding 3 more hymns, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But I decided it was time to get serious about getting them all kitted. So what I've done is gotten the called for linens, or sorry, the called for threads. But I went to Shepherd's Bush and just grabbed some old, dingy looking linens to stitch them on. So I've got Vintage Beeswax by R&R so far. And this one did not come home with a tag, so I don't know what it is. Maybe some of you recognize it.
Look at that. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Isn't that cool? And it looks really good with the vintage beeswax.
It does.
So that's next in line for my Sunday stitches. So I'll let you know when I start on those, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be soon.
Hopefully so. Does that
And
mean
they have a bag now, so a project bag. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. Are you going to have multiple Sunday stitches that you can be working on, like Consider the Lilies?
Or just do one
Or yeah,
at a time.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see what I feel like. But it gives me choices for Sunday.
But one thing's for sure,
Right.
you can do whatever you feel like.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so this is like getting to be really long. Maybe we should make a separate, or should we just keep going?
I kind of feel like we should make it separate videos.
I do too. So, because it's been an hour. I was gonna do this originally, separate them all. And I was like, no, let's just do them. But it's hard to not do any finishes or show you stuff I'm working on, because that's why we watch FlossTube, right? We want to see what people have made, what they're working on. So we're gonna end it here and start another one.
Yeah, so we can drop this video and drop the next video at the same time.
Yeah, so you're probably gonna get 3 videos. Sawdust, update,
Yeah,
what are we gonna call
market
it?
update and your
Market,
whips and haul.
finishes, and then a 3rd video that is Statehood Splendor series
Yeah,
with a little American history hashtag on it.
it's going to be fun.
Thanks for helping me out.
Thanks for
Good.
having me.
Stuff in my bags,
No, this is
holding Bean Vanna.
great.
And we'll talk about Vanna in just a minute again. The other, not Vanna, but Vanna.
Lana Pfeiffer.
Yes. So
She's great.
FlossTube, thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
See you soon.